Okay, so during this video, I'm going to show you guys how to georeference an image in QGIS 3. So the first thing we want to do is open up Google Earth Pro. This is a free software. It's very easy to get. If you just look up Google Earth Pro and download the software, it doesn't take up too much space, I don't think, and it's free and it's relatively easy to install. It doesn't take too long. So once we open up the software, first thing we want to do is make sure that the terrain is off. If the terrain is on, it's going to create a 3D image, and that's very hard to georeference. So we want to make sure the terrain is off, and we also want to go into our tools, options, navigation, and make sure that the image will not automatically tilt. We want ideally a 2D surface when we're georeferencing, and if you don't have this selected, the Google Earth could automatically tilt and create an almost 3D image, which is almost impossible to georeference. So we want do not automatically tilt while zooming. Click apply, okay. And now we're going to search for the farm. So in this example, we are going to be georeferencing Blue Valley Farms. So we can just search for it and it'll pop up a bunch of different options of Blue Valley Farms. In this case, we want the one in Pilesville, Maryland. So we're going to zoom in, and ideally we want to find the farm field that we've been working with. So this would be the field right here. And next we want to create some pin marks that we're going to georeference in QGIS. So I want to go up here to this little tack looking icon and add a place mark. Now it creates a tack and I can move it to wherever I want it. In this case, I want it right on the edge of the farm because I'm going to georeference at 4 different points on the edge of this farming picture. So once I move it, I'm going to call it point A, and I want to change the look of it. I want this diamond shaped here, and I'm going to put it at about 0.5. This is so it's small and so that I can see inside of it. So when I georeference, I can get the exact point that I want, because the more precise you are, the better the image will snap together. I'm going to make this a yellow shade just so it's bright, it's easy to see. And then we're going to select OK and OK. And now we have our georeference point, as you guys can see. It's roughly on the edge of the farm so that I can snap this point in when I georeference. So now I'm going to create 3 more points on the other sides of the farm. The place mark automatically updates, so I don't need to worry about changing that, but I do want to select the place I want to put it in. So right there, name point B, okay. And we'll continue this process. Make sure that you guys move the image before you save, because as soon as you press OK here, you cannot move this tag again. So you have to make sure that you press OK. You have to make sure that you move it before you press OK, because now this is snapped into place and I can't move it. So now I'm going to create my last point. Right there. Okay. So now all of my points are created. So now that I have my points that I'm going to georeference, I want to add a new layer. And in this layer, I'm going to call this GCPs. Press OK. And then you want to put all of your points that you created under your new folder, your GCP folder. Then I'm going to right click on the folder, and I want to press save place as, and I need this as a KML file. It originally shows up as a KMZ. I need it as a KML. So then I can press KML and put it in somewhere where I know where it is. Save it. at this point, we've done what we need to do in Google Earth Pro. So we want to hide our sidebar and save our image. So we are going to go up to File, and we want to save our image. So once we do that, we want to get rid of the map options here. We're not going to need them for the georeferencing, so we can get rid of all the map options, and we want to save, and then we can get out of that, and we want to save the image. So image should be a JPEG, and you want to put it somewhere where you know where it is. I'm going to name this GE Roster 1. It doesn't specifically matter what you name it, just know where it is and what you did name it. So now I'm going to save this image, and I'm going to move into QGIS 3. So we've done everything we need to do in Google Earth Pro, and now we're going to move on to QGIS. So first thing I need to do here is add my GCPs, my ground control points from Google Earth Pro. So I'm going to go in, and one thing and find where those are. Okay, so here they are. These are the ground control points that I had. I'm just going to throw them into the screen. You guys can see they all showed up, all 4 of them. So now I want to go to my Georeferencer. For me, I've already uploaded this, so this is already showing up here. If it doesn't show up for you, then go to Plugins, Manage and Install Plugins, and then search Georeferencer. As you guys search Georeferencer, it will show up, and if it's not already checkmarked, you can click on it and install it, and it will automatically install, and it'll show up in your roster. So for me, I'm going to go to Roster, Georeferencer, and I want to open this screen so that I can see that, and I can see my other screen. So now I want to add my image that I already saved, my JPEG file. It's in my documents, so I want to select that, and your image should show up exactly how it was in Google Earth Pro. Now I'm going to start my georeferencing. So I want to go to point A. I want to zoom in to where I can see it. And I'm going to press this button here, add point, and then I want to press inside of the diamond. Sometimes it will be difficult to see with your point A subtext getting in the way, but I can still make out where my diamond is, so I can click in it. Once I click in the diamond, it's going to ask me to enter the map coordinates. But what I can do, since I already have my geomarks from Google Earth, is press this From Map Canvas option. And once I do that, I want to select the point where that I'm looking at, and that would be this point here, this point A. It automatically puts the coordinates in, so I press OK, and now it snaps on to my G roster image. I'm going to continue this process for the other 3 points that I have. So just make sure this is highlighted. Press inside of your diamond. It's a little bit hard to see, but you can still make it out. From Map Canvas, and then you want to do the same thing here. Select your point, and then press OK. So you can make out if you did it right, because you will be able to see the image. So now I'm going to do my point C. Typically, the more ground control points you have, the better your georeferencing is going to be. So now that it's selected, I'm going to press OK, and it's georeferenced. And then I have my last point here, point D. You can make it out. The image is a little bit cut off. And then you want to go through the same process. Select your point, then press OK. So now all of my points are georeferenced. I want to go into my settings, and I want to create a world file. This is the most important thing. This will load the raster image into QGIS once it's georeferenced. When I select load in, and then I want to make sure that I'm on WGS 84. That's important. And for this, we want a transformation linear type. For different projects, you might use different transformation types, but for this, we want linear. So once all these settings are good, we're going to press OK, and then we're going to run the georeference, pressing the little play button. Then it's successfully georeferenced. We can close this. We no longer need it. You can save it or discard it. It doesn't really matter if you're going to use this project again. I would save it. Just in my case, I'm going to discard the image. So now, as you guys can see, my GCP and my Georeferencer image are successfully merged, and it has georeference because the points are snapped into place on where I had put them. So this is how you would successfully georeference an image using Google Earth Pro from QGIS software. And this just has the Google Earth Pro image and my points. What I could do at this point is I could go in and add an NDVI index map or any other type of map that I have of this data, and the points should fall directly on top of where they are in these two images since I've georeferenced it. So that's how to successfully georeference an image in QGIS 3.